Democrats are starting to feel bullish about their chances of gaining control of the House. So they need 4 seats to succeed in doing that net. And of course, it could all come down to New York. That is where 4 of the country's most vulnerable Republicans won their seats by less than 5 points 2 years ago. And tonight, they're all running behind their Democratic opponents. Harry Enton is at the magic wall. So, Harry, obviously the House is massive. So being able to boil it down to, hey, look at these 4 is so crucial. Where are these districts and how close are they right now?
Yeah, so let's take a tour of the great state of New York. It's something I want to do this time of year. Look, you point out the basic math. Democrats need a net gain of 4. I think they could get them from the state of New York. Let's show you where these districts are. First, let's start off in the Syracuse area. And where are we going? We're looking at the 22nd district, right? This district has actually been redistricted to be more favorable to Democrats. But last time around, Brandon Williams, the Republican, won by only a point. So Democrats think they could pick up a seat there. Let's go down I-81, all right? We're going to go to the Binghamton area. All right, here's another district. The 19th, Democrats think they have a pretty good shot. Mark Molinaro, look at that. Won by less than 2 points last time around. That's another district. Let's go down the Hudson Valley, down I-87, all right? Mike Lawler, last time around in the 17th district, won by less than a percentage point. So that's another district. How about district number 4? We're going to go out to Long Island. Let's see if I can hit this button correctly. I did. We're going to go to the 4th district. Anthony D'Esposito, last time around, won by less than 4 percentage points. So those are 4 races that were determined by less than 5 points last time around. Where are they at this particular moment? Let's take a look at some House forecasts. All right, these are an aggregation of forecasts. And look what we have on your screen, Aaron. We got a lot of blue on your screen. Look at this. A forecast predicted for New York 4 on Long Island, +9 for the Democrat. New York 17, Jones up by a point, well within the margin of error. How about Riley in New York 19? All right, up by just a point, again, well within the margin of error. And then New York 22, Mannion, a 6-point advantage. That's one I think Democrats could definitely flip, Aaron.
Well, and it's interesting. And of course, when you think up ticket, what all this could mean, that's significant as well. There is another race, though, in New York that you're watching, Harry, which does not currently show a Democrat leading. But the fact that there's no clear leader at this point might say a lot, big picture, about where Republicans stand. And this Democrat happens to be someone that our viewers know well, somebody that, we personally love, John Avlon.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're going to go all the way to the eastern end of Long Island. Look, Nick LaLota, last time around the 1st district, won this district by over 10 points. And that was why it was so surprising when we saw a poll that just came out this past week. And look at this. No clear leader. LaLota up by only 3 points over John Avlon, who, of course, formerly worked here at CNN. This is a race that I, frankly, didn't think was going to be all that close given the result last time around. But Avlon looks to be giving LaLota a run for his money, Aaron.
Right. Avlon, obviously running as a Democrat. He had worked for Giuliani. He's a moderate. If Democrats win the House, though, Harry, and you look at what that means, it could make history in other ways.
It could make history in other ways. I enjoyed our trip down the LIE, by the way, Aaron. Let's take a look here.
Well, you're the only one.
I'm the only one. It oftentimes has such bad traffic, right? Look, Republicans are favored in the Senate. Democrats might have a slight edge in the House. You know the last time that the 2 houses flipped in opposite directions? It's never happened, Aaron. It's never happened. So if it happens this year, we will be making history. And you know what, Aaron? I think in this segment, we just made history.
We make because someone likes to drive down the LIE?
Of course. That's exactly right.
I'm trying to think okay. All right, Harry, thank you very much. And now I want to go to Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan. And Congresswoman, when you hear Harry lay this out, how Democrats could take back the House, and obviously he was focusing specifically on the state of New York and how it could happen there, do you think it's realistic?
I do believe. I think the presidential election is very tight in the battleground states, but I think we are doing better in these House races. I think you're going to see more ticket splitters than some people expect to see this year. But I have been following all of these races district by district, and I'm feeling optimistic that we will take the House.
So feeling optimistic about that, let me ask you now about these swing states that are so close, because you mentioned ticket splitting. So let's get to it. Politico has a piece out today about Arab American voters in your state who they say are, quote, furious at Harris as the war in Gaza is raging. And one person from Dearborn told Politico that voters, quote, may vote for Donald Trump just to punish Biden and Harris, just to say, look what you've done. And of course, Congresswoman, 100,000 Michigan Democrats did cast uncommitted ballots in the primary, and that was them making a statement about the situation in Gaza. Do you believe that Harris could lose Michigan over this issue?
Look, this is an issue that I want to be really clear. As people on all sides of the issue, raw, hurting, passionate. I spend a great deal of my time with that community right now, listening to them. There are angry people. There are people that aren't going to vote for either candidate. There are some, I don't think that they're going to be, Donald Trump is working this community very hard. Let me be clear about that. But people have not forgotten the Muslim ban. They have not forgotten he's talking about internment camps. So I think there are a lot of Arab Americans who haven't made up their mind yet. I think some are going to vote for the vice president, and some may just not vote. But it is not a community that's gone.
So I think that's interesting. I appreciate your, giving such an honest evaluation of the situation. When it comes to Michigan, in many paths to 270 must win for the vice president. She has now launched, the Harris campaign is, their second TV ad targeting specifically Jill Stein, who is the Green Party candidate, airing in your state. Stein is trying to seize on the Harris problem with Arab American voters, not just Trump, but Stein is as well. And I want to play some of what she said recently at an event in Dearborn. She was speaking with the group that its literal name, Congresswoman, is Abandon Harris.
Abandon Harris is a moral compass for a nation that is lost at sea. Resist the propaganda telling you to hold your nose and vote for genocide. If you vote for genocide, you are consenting to it, you are enabling it.
The polls show her, Congresswoman, at 1% in Michigan right now, but it's a race between Harris and Trump that's a complete dead heat, right? And we've all seen that Jill Stein can flip a state based on how she does. So do you think that she is hurting Harris in Michigan right now?
Look, I want to take this very seriously. Third-party candidates have determined races in Michigan before, and she is not going to win. Let me make that really clear. Jill Stein is not going to win this presidential race. So a vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Donald Trump. And I think we got to be very clear on that talking to people. So I take her seriously. I am being very clear with people that I want them to understand what that vote could mean.
All right. Well, Congresswoman, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.